I don't know what to say about that game. I don't know what to say about how that one played out. this is this is wild, man. This is wild. And on some level, I'm happy that it's fun. Like really, this Seahawks team, they provide a lot of entertainment. They do more than I thought. Like we're 2-3 now. We lose to the Saints, 39-32. Back and forth game, crazy game. Part of me is happy that the team is more entertaining than I was expecting because I thought, look, I thought we were going to be 2-3 right now, but I thought we were going to be riding a decent defense and a bad but not terrible offense to that 2-3 record. And here we are. We have one of the best offenses in the league. We are throwing up points like nobody's business. We're losing players, and it doesn't faze us. We lose our running back. We lose, we're down wide receivers today. We're down an offensive lineman. And it keeps on chugging along. Geno Smith legitimately putting up MVP-type numbers. Playing at an elite level. Answering back over and over and over again. Every time we need him to step up and deliver. Except maybe right at the end of the game again. But, God, the $7 million for a quarterback. And he's putting you on his back over and over and over again. And your defense playing a Saints team that missing 3 receivers, their top 3 receivers, missing their starting quarterback, and can't stop them. Can't stop the run. You know they're going to run the ball. You know what you're getting. Taysom Hill goes in the game. You know what he's going to do. Can't stop him. Alvin Kamara comes back off that injury, eats you up on the ground and through the air. So we're 2-3. In many ways, life is looking pretty good. Like I'm not going to pretend like things aren't on the. I'm not going to pretend like I don't suddenly have a positive outlook on where this team is headed. Where I'm not optimistic about these young players, and some of these young players showed up and played big time today. But the path we have taken to get here is weird. And on the one hand, I'm happy because this is a little more entertaining. But on the other hand, I mean, damn. I can't believe the problems that this team has, all things considered. You've got an all-time supposedly defensive guru as your head coach. You pull in all these defensive coaches in the offseason to revamp things. And you have maybe the worst defense in the entire NFL. So, offense, I mean, I kind of already summed it up, but pretty much everyone played well. DK left a couple plays out there. The drop in the end zone was brutal. His first drop of the year, and it took 4 points off the board. The fumble, I mean, that's not a fumble. And by the way, the referees in this game can absolutely kiss every part of my butt. Like, oh my God, that was a huge ref job. And if I wasn't so irritated by how sloppy this team played anyway, I would probably spend this whole video just talking about them. That was a disastrously refed game. And yeah, they, I can sit here, I can say they absolutely handed the Saints this game. They cost us this game. And honestly, if we had won, I think you could say the referees cost the Saints the game. Whoever won was going to be able to say, hey, we got a big help from the refs. What a disaster. Those guys don't need to be working another NFL game for the rest of their lives. Absolute train wreck. DK's fumble was not a fumble. It's still a ball security issue with him a little bit, and it's frustrating, but really it's the drop. And he didn't have a bad game, I don't think. Lockett, monster game. I mean, my God, one of the best games he's ever played. Kenneth Walker comes in for the ailing penny, and by the way, really, really sad about that one. That one's really tragic. I'm hoping maybe it's a sprain and he can be back at some point, but it didn't look good. It didn't feel good. It's really, really unfortunate. God, he was just starting to get going, too. He was having a good game. He had 50 plus yards on 8 carries. And then It seems like it might be over. Ken Walker goes in there, grinds out a couple tough carries, and then finally, I knew it was coming. He busts the big one, and could have been the hero of the game if the defense had any degree of competency whatsoever. God, what else? What else? What else are you going to say about this offense, man? Noah Fant broke out. Shoot, who else? D. Eskridge drew a PI on Marcus Lattimore. So, a lot of contributions down the line here. There's some stuff, of course. Geno Smith took a terrible sack on the last possession that took away our opportunity to maybe go tie or win this game. You can't do that. That was straight out of the Russell Wilson playbook. Like, that is the worst of the Russell Wilson experience. We don't need that with Geno. That was terrible. He had another play where he was just running around back there for like 14 seconds, just looking, and it's just trying to do a little too much. But what, we're going to act like Geno played bad? No, Geno played great. Disley had a bad drop. Can't do that. Both guys, Metcalf and Disley, two guys that we gave a lot of money this offseason, had their first big drops of the year. Not even big drops, first drops, period. And they swung the game. They definitely swung the game in a negative way. Not calling up another running back, not calling up another a receiver looked like a mistake because we lost Penny Hart in this game. We lost Rashad Penny in this game, and we could have used another receiver potentially. We could have used another running back. But honestly, even that, we found a way to muddle through. We found a way to muddle through with what we had. Offensive line played okay, not the best. You're playing a much better Saints defense than the Lions defense. You're playing a much better defense in general. I know it's not been the best, but there are going to be some definite miscues, going to be some mistakes up there. But overall, I thought they played okay. Lucas got beat on a sack where he didn't have that bad of a rep. Geno needs to move around a little bit better than that. But man, this offense goes into the Superdome and throws up 32 points on a talented, capable defense. Like, what else are you looking for? At the end of the day, you got another big game from a $7 million quarterback, and you're looking around the NFL this week, this year in general, you're seeing quarterbacks that cost 7-8 times as much. Not nearly as dominant, not nearly as good. So, I know people are going to talk about the dumb sack. Some people are maybe going to talk about the ball he threw that almost got picked off by Adobe, or they kept calling him Debo on the broadcast, which annoyed the hell out of me. There's only one Debo, but God, you had this really nice opportunity to put a flag down on this season and say, hey, this team's actually pretty good. And the defense, which got off to a better start, again, the first half, okay, Michael Dixon completely hangs you guys out to dry. I understand. Michael Dixon with the dumbest play of the year. I mean, I understand that. You had another play. Another drive. The Saints had another drive on a short field off the DK fumble. So that's 14 points. I can't really kill the defense for that much. But I can sure kill them for what happened late in that game when the Saints didn't have any receivers and all we needed was one stop. So the run defense, they start out kind of sort of okay, mediocre, passable. Al Woods is making plays, and he got hurt at the end of this game too, and we clearly cannot replace that guy, so we need good news there immediately. We need good news on the injury front in general. But as this game went on, Alvin Kamara, nearly 200 yards from scrimmage. Taysom Hill dominated us. Embarrassing, by the way. That guy's a joke player. That guy's literally like a meme, and he just completely dunks on you. So this defense, 5 weeks in, is still failing on the most basic of levels. No pass rush, very little pass rush on Dalton. Secondary played a little bit better, but you're playing against JV receivers, basically. You're playing against a bunch of complete scrubs in that Saints receiver core. and you're still giving up crucial downs. You're still getting beat in situations where there's an opportunity for you to make a play. So you got to go back in the lab at this point, man, because it's not getting easier. Next week you're playing the Cardinals. The Cardinals, they have a better offense than the Saints, missing all their best players. Saints, by the end of this game, had one legit playmaker, Alvin Kamara, and he's on the wrong side, and he's on the wrong side of his career in the first place. So for you not to be able to find a way to get some key stops at the end there is just, it's, I don't know what to say about it anymore, man. And I know it wasn't all you. 2 of the touchdowns the Saints scored in this game on the special teams and the refs. I'm not even going to say offense because that was not a goddamn fumble. And I'm still pissed about it. But you got to come up with something, man. You got to come up with something that can at least succeed on the most basic of levels. Right now, you are not really doing anything right. And maybe the most troubling thing is I look at this defense, the guys who are actually showing up are the guys who I wasn't expecting the world from. Tariq Woolen had a good game. Got screwed on another bogus penalty, by the way. That game basically turned into the game in the longest yard between the prisoners and the guards. Really. That game may as well have been the Burt Reynolds' longest yard game. And you've got a good game from him. You got a good game from Kobe. He forces the big fumble and plays generally cleaner in coverage. You get a good game from Nwosu, I thought. I thought Nwosu did pretty well out there. But what happened to the supposed superstars on this defense, or at least the budding stars who we were starting to kind of take for granted as good? Quandre Diggs, what's he done this year? 5 games in, he hasn't made a single play. He's missing tackles. I know he's not getting toasted. I know he's not a disaster in coverage. But he's not making any plays. And when we gave him that $40 million, I thought to myself, I'm not crazy about it, but at least I know we're getting a great player because he's been great for us since he got here. No. He's the furthest thing from great right now. He is just kind of out there existing. He's not doing anything other than just existing right now. And that's really disappointing. I think you could make the very compelling argument that Diggs has been our best player since he got here through the 2021 season. But now you're in 2022 and nothing after you pay him. So I don't know where we go from here with that, but it's not just him. Jordan Brooks, he made a couple plays today. We used him on the blitz a lot, which I like. But then you've got all the missed tackles. You've got the coverage blows. It's even the one that basically decided the game at the end there, too. That was Brooks. Darrell Taylor, barely noticed him, and when I did, it was for bad stuff, like missing a tackle or jumping off sides on 3rd down. Just these are the guys that I thought were good. I thought these guys were going to be fine, but through 5 games, I don't think you would even notice if they weren't on this team. If somebody told me, hey, Jordan Brooks, Darrell Taylor, and Quandre Diggs, those guys that you were counting on to be solid, if not great, have been abducted by aliens and replaced with doppelgangers that don't know how to play football, I would kind of believe you. So we got to go back to the drawing board on some of these guys. And, no wonder things are going so bad. You can't even assume anything from the guys who you thought were your studs. Al Woods is our best player on defense. And by the way, yeah, like I said, he's injured now. We got to hold our breath there. But we've got some deep-seated issues on that defense. And you pull in Sean Desai, you pull in Clint Hurt, you change things up on defense, you go to this 3-4 hybrid, you retain Pete Carroll, you bring in some guys like Nwosu, you use picks on guys like Mafe, and all this stuff on this defense, and yet it's the rookies who are doing the most out of anybody, and it's not even particularly close. So it's just kind of unbelievable that we're 2-3 like I thought we would be. 2-3, okay, That's fine, but look at how we got here. So, I'm going to stream a little later, probably during the Sunday night game. Maybe I'll do it later during the afternoon games. I'm not sure yet. But, yeah, very odd path we're taking here. And in some areas, it's good, right? Because we can now safely say that Tyler Lockett is going to be, he's solid. Tyler Lockett, I was a little worried about him without Wilson, but there's nothing to worry about. Ken Walker broke a big one. Love it. I don't think people are going to be talking bad about him right now. And we're going to need him to be big for going forward because I don't think Penny's going to be back anytime soon. The offensive line playing fine. Gino playing great for the most part. I understand that he left some plays out there today that hurt, but I'm not going to act like he's the reason why you lose. I'm going to say it again. Most of the time in the NFL, you get what you pay for. We are getting more than what we paid for with Gino, honestly. We are getting a heavy bargain, paying a guy $7 million at the quarterback position, and he's outplaying guys making 40, 45, 50 million weekly. And yet, the defense still finds a way to cost it. And other than really, you take out Al Woods, Tariq Woolen, Kobe Bryant, who on that defense are you looking at and going, I feel good about that guy? I'm optimistic about where this is going. Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot, man. All right. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I'll see you guys later on the post-game stream. Maybe I'll do it during the afternoon games, but I think more likely I'm going to do it during the Sunday night game. Pretty good Sunday night game, by the way. Not upset about losing, of course, but the way this is happening is bizarre. And given the fact that this defense is the side of the ball that I was expecting to see something good out of, and given the fact that we have a lot of pieces on that defense that were supposed to be solid, it's very concerning. That part is concerning. Are any of these guys, other than the corners, part of the next great Seahawks team? Any of them? I don't know anymore. Tariq? Yeah, I mess with Tariq. Kobe starting to come around a little bit, even playing out of position. Not great, not amazing, but better. But Brooks, Taylor, Diggs, what are they doing? Not a lot. Nothing. All right. That's enough from me. I got to get out of here. Peace out. Go Hawks. Shout out to the offense for making this season fun, but this is getting embarrassing on the other side of things. And one last screw you to the refs and one last screw you to Dixon. Not happy about either of those events, but hey, life goes on. See you guys later.